the day across England, the rain clearing. It's called Storm Connell, but it is not set to cause widespread disruption across the UK, and I'll tell you why on Good Morning Britain.
London last night, and there are alerts, warnings.
Yeah, so first of all, we have a storm that's been named, but it actually hasn't been named by the UK Met Office. It's called Storm Connell. It's the Dutch Weather Service that have named it, and I'll explain why in a moment. So for us, there are yellow weather warnings across southern England. It's a wet start to the day across much of England and Wales, but this is our typical wet weather for the time of year. There'll be a lot of spray on the roads, but we're not expecting widespread disruption. So
except, Laura.
Yes. So I'll explain why this is not set to cause widespread disruption across the UK. And it's because we come in a team. When we name storms across the UK, we actually name them with Ireland, the UK, and also the Netherlands. So when storms come in from the Atlantic, they go across Ireland first of all, usually, then across the UK, and they head their way to the Netherlands. So today's wet weather has its sights set on the Netherlands. They are the ones that named the storm yesterday. The UK Met Office and the Irish Met Office said together that they wouldn't have named the storm because it actually isn't that impact for us. Worth pointing out, also France, Spain, Portugal, they name storms together, and Norway and Sweden as well. So areas that come together will name storms. So this is the storm that is heading across our shores. It's giving wet and windy weather in the south, but as it leaves the UK into the North Sea, it deepens rapidly. And by the time it gets across the Netherlands, it will be much more powerful, much more potent. And for them, they will have very strong winds and very heavy rain, opposed to just some wet weather that we have today. But yes, for England, most of it waking up to a wet start this morning. That rain is set to clear. And this is the very latest radar showing the wet weather through England and Wales. Still worth checking before you travel. There's still some disruption from railway lines yesterday, still impacted by the flooding from the weekend, I think particularly parts of southwest England and the Midlands. But this rain will be here just for this morning and then very quickly clear away. In its wake, it leaves a legacy of a lot of clouds, so a grey day to come for much of England and Wales, and then everybody else a fine, dry day with light winds and sunshine. A chilly start to the day in the north. The temperatures don't rise that much, 3 or 4 degrees. The best we'll see is 7 or 8 in the south. And as we can see here, this is the storm, much more powerful across the Netherlands later on today. As we head through this evening and overnight tonight, the storm stays to our east. For us, it's clear skies, light winds, a widespread frost, and also a foggy night to come. So first thing tomorrow morning, cold and frosty for many of us in the north, with some mist and fog in the south.
Did you know, we always trust Laura. I have an electric car, which will come as no surprise.
Yes.
You practice what you preach, you drive the talk.
Yeah.
What is yours like?
So I love my electric car, and I'm not just saying that, and I got it just over a year and a half ago. And I think the thing is, you have to think about driving differently, because you will probably need to charge up your vehicle after a couple of hours of driving. But the advice is that after a couple of hours of driving, you should be stopping anyway. You shouldn't be driving for more than 2 hours because you're tired. And by the time I've plugged the car in, nipped to the loo, got Charlotte something from the shop and come back in, I've got enough charge to continue my journey. And if I put in my route, it will tell me on the way, charge at this charger, and you'll have enough power to get home. So for me, the experience has been really positive, and your car will tell you where the chargers are en route, how many of them are working. And for me, it's been really easy.
How much did the car cost?
I think it was 40,000.
It's a lot of money.
Right, just to say.
Okay, so that means if I go to the northeast...
Yes, so just in case there is some confusion, this is a map of the UK right across. So where the fronts come across the Atlantic, they'll head across Ireland, the UK and the Netherlands, and that is why we name our storms together. When our storm leaves today, we'll head to them, and that is where they're set to have a horrendous day of weather with very strong winds and very heavy rain. For us, it's just a spell of wet weather, and it's actually not going to be that windy. So the red storm here this morning, and then it heads its way eastwards. The isobars close together, and that is when it's set to be very windy later on today across the Netherlands. For us, a much more settled outlook. So this morning, yes, there is rain, and that is what we are still calling Storm Connell, but we just have a few yellow warnings in force across the south coast for rain of up to 50 millimetres. So we're likely just to see a lot of spray along the roads across England and Wales this morning, heaviest across the far south, where we have our warnings in force. That wet weather clears away, the warnings expire by midday, and then the outlook is drier. Maybe a little windy as the last of that rain clears parts of East Anglia, but this afternoon, southern areas are cloudy. Northern areas are fine and sunny. and a chilly feeling day ahead across the north, just 3 or 4 degrees after a cold and frosty start. So how do things pan out as we head through the rest of the week? Well, actually, it remains relatively settled and actually a big change in temperature. So this is where our outlook will really comes into play. So first of all, across the north of the UK, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England, this white line is where temperatures should be for the time of year. And the trend is for it to be way below average cold and turning much, much milder as we head into the weekend. Percentage chance of rainfall across the north of the UK, where we have our crisp sunshine today. That lasts all week long, but turning wetter for Sunday and Monday. Fortunes further south England and Wales for the next 7 days. Again, our trend in temperature. It is a chilly one outside first thing this morning, but temperatures remain average, a little milder as we head into the weekend. Percentage chance of rainfall. We have our wet weather around today, but then the rest of the working week, Saturday looks largely fine. Thicker cloud through Saturday, Sunday and Monday with a risk of a few showers.